Final thing I'm going to focus on here, what Swamiji was saying at the very end. When you've seen your real face, when you've gone into Nirod Parinam, you've had Samadhi Parinam and Ekagrata Parinam, once you've seen your real face and you've been without thoughts, the thoughts that you produce from then on will actually be original, fresh. You'll be a free thinker. Typically, because we don't know the state inside of us that doesn't have thoughts, we've only known the state that has thoughts. So what are our thoughts? They're just rehashings of what society tells us or what the people around us tell us, right? If you have a certain family characteristic, the community that you're a part of, the people that you're surrounded by, the societies, the news that you read, these things are what you rehash, and those become your thoughts. Unoriginal, old, moldy. Your whole thinking process is like this. But when you've accessed a place inside of you that doesn't have thoughts and you stayed there, then you come back out, your thought process is fresh. It's original, it's spontaneous. It's actually yours. And this is why, a note on enlightened beings. Someone who's actually enlightened, their disposition, their concepts, their voice, their being will always be fresh and very freeing. Extremely freeing. They're not the type of people that carry around something of antiquity of the past. They learn from the past, they learn from antiquity, but the way that they are is very fresh and contemporary, right? They have original thinking, they have fresh and free thinking. In fact, amongst all of the saints I've met in my life, Swamiji is the only one where you can sit beside them and even before the real mukti, actually feel like you're being freed. Just sitting in their presence, you start to go inwards more than you would if you were alone. Right? And the things they talk about, their concepts, their beliefs, their guidance towards you is so freeing, and it unburdens you. That is one of the hallmarks of someone who's enlightened, because I'll tell you, Krishna, when he stands there, completely a master. What does a master mean? See, so much freedom in their being, but they're so collected. And everything about them is in their control. That's what it means to be a master. Not the circumstance that moves them. Not somebody's praise or dishonor doesn't move them. They're a master completely standing in their own uniqueness, and nothing phases them. Krishna is like that. See, everybody before Krishna would have told Arjun, you stop fighting, take sannyas. You can't go out and kill the people that taught you how to do Shastra Vidya, or the people that you've respected for so long. But Krishna stands there in his original thought, in his freshness, in his mastery, and he says, Arjun, pick up the bow and arrow, you're going to fight. Right? Think about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. People were telling everyone, you have to be a sannyasi, you have to go to the mountains, you shouldn't get married or have kids or do any of this. But he stands there as a master in his uniqueness, in his free thought, and says, I can do all of that and get married and have children and do jobs. Right? Think about Buddha. He was a king. See, his life story is unique. He was a king and he says, I don't need any of this. Until I find out who I am, until I find out that beyond all of these fluctuations, there's something worth living for, there's no reason for me to want any of this. So he leaves all of it. And he leaves all of it, and he doesn't go back and think, oh my God, why did I leave all of this? I was so much better off before. As a complete sannyasi, with nothing in his hand, he stands fresh, and he stands as a master. Think about Kabir. Kabir outright rejected the thought of his time, whether that was old religious thought, right? Whether it was, rehashings of the Hindu faith, rehashings of the old Muslim faith, all of that stuff that wasn't working out anymore, and people were just rehashing because you're supposed to respect it, you're supposed to do that. He rejects all of it, and he stands there. He doesn't know where he's going to get breakfast from, but he stands there as a master, freshness in his voice and his being. right? If he was here today, he would have done the same thing. Rejection, complete rejection of everything that is supposed to be religious and supposed to be what you respect, but doesn't actually work, he would have rejected. And he wouldn't have cared what you thought. Right? So what does it mean for you? You shouldn't copy these people. Krishna is very different from Buddha. Buddha is very different from Nanak. Nanak is very different from someone like Meera. Okay? They're all masters. They're all unique. What does that mean? Learn from what they had to go through. Really hone in to what they did. Right? Maybe there's guidance that they give you, hone into it and practice. But don't imitate them. Don't think I have to be exactly like Guru Nanak Dev Ji in order for me to meet God. Or exactly like Kabir. You have a different set of start points. If you're going to get enlightened, you have to stand in your own uniqueness. Yes, take the pointers, take the lessons, but be unique.